In this video, we're going to look at calculating the quantitative data. Remember that quantitative data is data that is numeric. The first step is to add up the totals and percentages. The second step is to do basic statistical analysis to measure the central tendency and the variability. For more information on how to do this, please see Ann Burns' Chapter 4 in your book or the following links. Step 3 then is to create graphs or tables to help you understand the data better. In the following 6 slides, we'll see examples of the calculation and presentation of quantitative data from ASEAN Teachers' Action Research Projects. In the first example, we're seeing the action research of a teacher looking at receiving feedback. As you look through this slide, notice that it would be helpful to give the sample size of the participants being tested or being sampled, or in other words, how many surveys were collected. Also note that it's not a good visual representation of the research and data. In example 2, we're looking at the same teacher's data, but in a different way. In this slide, we see that she's represented the data in a pie chart, comparing the initial student survey with the post-student survey. The fact that the pie charts are side by side makes it easier to read and see the differences between the initial survey and the post-survey. In the next example, we see a teacher who is analyzing data for speaking. Again, it'd be helpful here to share the total number of students questioned. This could be displayed more visually as well, or in a table to make it easier to read. Looking at example 4, we see some differences. We see the total amount of students sampled. The data is also represented in a table, which is more visual and easier to read. In example 5, we see a graph, which is even more easy to read. This is the initial observation, and then we see a follow-up observation. Putting the two graphs side by side, we can see the initial and the follow-up data results. And finally, if we combine these results into one graph, as seen in this slide, it makes it very easy to read and see the differences that the action and the action research has made. Now we'd like to walk you through a quick lesson on creating Excel graphs. Keep in mind that the pictures in these slides come from a Mac computer. So if you're using Windows, it may look a little bit different. The first step is to enter the information into an Excel spreadsheet. Then highlight the data and the labels and select Insert plus Cluster Column Chart. And here's the result. Make adjustments before copying the image into another document. After you have explored your qualitative and quantitative data, you're ready to complete columns D through G on your data analysis tool, handout 4.1. As you follow these steps, decide your focus, determine your sample size, code the qualitative data, and calculate the quantitative data. Once you've finished handout 4.1, your next assignment is to send it to your COP mentor by April 17th. Please email your COP mentor if you have any questions or need additional support.